Back. It's a great day for this Thursday, the 11th day of September, and temperatures, they be a-changing.
Boy, are they ever out there. We're about 15, 18 degrees cooler than we were at this time yesterday, depending where you are. It's 51 degrees. We have low clouds over the metro, north-northeast winds at 8 miles per hour. The other issue here is that the dew point has dropped about 20 degrees. That means that it's more likely your body's going to get cool faster outside. The moisture on your skin evaporates and it just makes you feel cooler. And so definitely feels like fall outside this morning, and it certainly does in places like Mason City and Dubuque where it's only 45 degrees. Fort Dodge is at 48 and Lamoni is at 50 degrees at last check. So bundle up the kiddos today. I do think we'll see some sunshine here and there. For the most part, it's going to be a cloudy day out there. Should be at 56 at noon and thinking at 61 at 3 o'clock. Overnight, especially after midnight, we'll see showers move in, 49 degrees, and because of that rain, we just won't see the mercury rise much tomorrow with the cloud cover, a high of only 54. That 54 is below our average low for this time of year. North winds at 10. But hang in there. It does get better as we take you into Saturday. It'll be a nice day over in Iowa City. Plenty of sunshine. You'll just have to wear a sweatshirt. The temperature topping out at around 62 degrees both in Des Moines and over there. 68 on Sunday. Good chance of rain Monday. Tuesday 68 and an isolated shower Wednesday with a high of 70 degrees. So Lou, no big fronts moving in.
And what a great segue that is, because we welcome to the desk Dr. Eugene Cherny, as we're talking about something that when people first find out that you deal in plastic surgery, I'm sure that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Totally, one of the first things that comes to people's minds is breast implants, and it makes sense because it's the #1 plastic surgery done on women in the United States of America.
Because every guy who's married to somebody wants their wife to have breast implants. Isn't that right, Dr. Cherny?
It's actually not right. Believe it or not, the majority of guys that come in with their wives, they say, oh, my wife doesn't need it. She looks perfect the way she is. I'm just here to support her, because they're afraid to say that, yes, I want my wife to have breast implants. Usually the wife wants them and the husband would rather spend the money on a boat or some power tools.
Yeah. See, that's something you may not believe. We heard that information yesterday.
Is this what kind of launched plastic surgery into what it is today, is from this procedure?
It started in the 1960s and it's gone through significant evolutions and improvements since then, but it is the #1 plastic surgery among women, and plastic surgery for both men and women in the United States of America is a $7 billion industry. $7 billion, that's how much has been spent on cosmetic surgery. And that doesn't even include the Botox and stuff.
Well, let's talk about the evolution of what's happened with breast implants. Because not only the implants themselves, but the things that they can help ladies with, because a lot of times we talk about breast cancer a lot these days. Or if you've had childbirth and things, deflate or don't quite do what they used to do. These can help.
Are these the same type of devices here?
These are two examples of silicone gel devices. One is round and smooth shell. The other one is shape stable. It's shaped like a teardrop. The one on your right hand is really great for breast reconstruction, which is where a lot of these implants go.
Look how this one, if I let it go, it just sags like this.
And it's great for reconstruction because it's more solid, is that?
It maintains its shape, and when you're reconstructing a breast, creating shape is much more important.
Sure. Now, you scare me when you say silicone, because I don't know, I'll say in the 90s, 2000s,
let's get those over.
Right.
90s, 2000s, you heard of women becoming very ill because of silicone.
That whole thing was studied extensively, and what was going on was that the silicone was a liquid silicone then. Whoa. And it actually didn't make people ill. That was all researched extensively, but it did create inflammation, and these patients needed revisionary surgery. So the whole thing was taken off the market, and they were all upgraded, where now the silicone is a solid jello-like substance. And I can cut it with my scalpel, and it still won't leak because it is a semi-solid now.
Is it a semi-solid material?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Semi-rigid or whatever.
So is saline still around? Because that kind of was the hot implant for a while.
Saline, especially in a slim lady like you, for example, it would be really lumpy over time. And that's why silicone is probably now the #1 implant again, because the saline gets lumpy in the slim woman. So this is why silicone is back bigger than ever.
Why would it get lumpy if it's that fluid of a material?
Well, the breast feels more like silicone than it feels like saline. And that's why. So the saline feels different inside the body than the silicone does. So people want something that's natural, that doesn't have a done look. that has natural movement and natural feeling, and silicone seems to fit the bill better.
So those are the two primary materials used?
In the United States of America, yes, that's the main thing.
Okay.
There's new research, and people are starting to think about enlarging their breasts with fat injections, and that's kind of new, and we're not doing it a lot yet because you have to inject a lot of fat to maybe get just 1 cup size up. Most of my patients need, a little more than that.
So can you talk a little bit about the life expectancy of a breast implant?
The procedure,
yes.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but when it goes in, there's the pectoral muscles here. Do you put them under the muscle, over the muscle? How does that all work?
In the United States, most surgeons will put it under the muscle, and it gives it structural support, gives it padding, blurs the edges out, support. It's very nice.
Okay.
Selected patients sometimes do better with it on top of the muscle. The life expectancy, it's interesting. I have patients that have had implants for 30 years. They're little old ladies that come into my office and for their checkup. They say, I just want to see if they're okay. And they're okay. And I say, well, do you want to do anything? You want to take them out? And they say, hell no, I still want to look good.
30 years.
Oh,
I always thought it was like around 10 or...
The convention, well, you know what? Plastic surgeons have to manage a patient's expectations.
True.
And I think it's important to tell somebody that, yeah, you might need a tune-up. I mean, actually, your breast will continue to age, and so you may very well need to be perked up again at some point.
Now, a tune-up would be replacing the actual implant or just repositioning?
For many of my patients, it's not even touching the implant. It's just lifting the breast around it, because plastic surgery always turns the clock back, but the clock keeps running.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the breast will continue to age along with the face and everything else. And so the breast, if you want to keep it looking fabulous, you might want a lift or something like
teardrop
that.
one there for a second.
So you're talking about putting this underneath the muscle. How does that affect a woman later on in life, say if she wants to breastfeed or something like that?
No effect on breastfeeding.
Really?
Believe it or not, in terms of cancer detection, for many patients, it makes it actually easier to detect breast cancer.
Why would that be?
Yeah.
Well, any of the women listening out here that have an A-cup breast and try to have a mammogram, you want to talk about a miserable experience, it stinks.
Oh.
And so the implant projects the breast out.
Sure.
You can fit in the mammogram better, and actually it splays the breast tissue out, and you can feel lumps better on that monthly self-exam that you're supposed to be doing in the shower every month.
Even going through a silicone or a saline solution?
Well, the silicone is underneath, and the breast tissue is in between, and it stretches it out, and you have a uniform surface. I can feel lumps much better with an implant in place than I can without.
Never thought about that.
Well, yeah, you're feeling like the rib and stuff like that. You're not
All right,
sure
here's
what
a
that
question
is.
I have. Okay, you take it and you install this device, okay?
Yeah, we can call it that.
He's a car guy, you know?
How does it not move around? Because you get a foreign object in the body, and the body has a tendency to want to push it out. Do you staple it in there? You crazy glue it? What do you do?
That's all been tried. Really, what you do is just make the space that is the perfect size and in the perfect position, and the body will just wall it off and position it and hold it there. Yes.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
That's all you got to do.
So you're just full of knowledge
obviously
here
a
this
lot
morning.
of
This is a fun topic. Everybody wants to know about
Well,
it.
a lot of evolution has obviously happened over since it started in the 60s and continues to happen throughout the years. So it's not what you might have thought about back in the day.
That's true, Jackie, and it's. I have to say, this is the #1 plastic surgery for a reason, because it brings a lot of happiness.
Okay,
it really,
so
really does.
we've been talking a lot of women and teardrops and things like that. What about guys? Is this the thing guys do at all?
One of these days, I'm going to get them. We have pectoral implants for men, and actually they're easier to put in than those.
Really?
But they're shaped kind of like a rectangle, and you make a little incision in the armpit and slide them in, and you know, why do all those push-ups? Why do all those bench presses? Oh yeah. It's probably cheaper than all the gym fees, and and then you are too tired to go half the time. So yeah, just a small incision, and it makes the pecs high and square. You do less. Actually, they need less work to make the right position for it. It's great for guys. Fantastic. Really big in California.
Of course it is. Definitely. Now here's $1 million idea for you. You develop the 6-pack and implant,
there you
and
go.
you have something going here. You guys going to eliminate sit-ups?
I just have the 1-pack.
You got
Just the one.
The 2-liter.
Yeah.
Okay, and final question about these, because maybe there's some ladies out there they're saying maybe they're interested in doing this. What's the price tag on something like this?
If you don't need a lift, if it's a routine aesthetic breast implant, it's $6,000. If you've had breast cancer, this is interesting, federal law requires that it be covered by your health insurance. So if you have breast cancer, your insurance has to cover your breast reconstruction.
Interesting.
And are you seeing that more and more these days with women coming in because of cancer?
Absolutely. That unfortunately continues to grow, but the techniques of surgery are better, earlier detection, better treatments all the time. So, yeah. So having breast cancer, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be mutilated. You can still be a woman. This can be rebuilt nicely. Yeah, we see it a lot.
Oh.
Okay.
That is great. You make a lot of people happy.
That's what I do. I love it.
Wonderful. Good job. Great information.
Yeah.
We learned a lot
see you,
here.
fellas.
And there's no way you are going to miss Dr. Cherny's place. The place is big enough to land a plane on the roof if you drive by it. It's
Nice
really
place.
impressive. It's over there. Just visit it on Hickman Road. Easy to find, right, not too far from Living History Farms.
We'd love it if you stopped by. Thank you.
Please do it. It's very impressive. So